What is your highest paid deal?
My highest paid deal, don't want to say it. 6K.
Wow, that's really good.
Yeah.
And like, were you like working up to that, or were you like one day all of a sudden 6K?
No, it was more recently, and it was a lot of usage, a lot of paid, a lot of, the months were long. And so I think it's not just 6K for a reel and
How many deliverables?
I think it was a couple of, because they wanted me to post, but also some UGC that they can use for different seasons. So
you posting how many?
It was more like a, what do you call it, an ambassadorship kind of thing.
Okay.
It's not called an ambassadorship, but it would be like, for the next 6 months, we're doing a certain amount of reels, and then behind the scenes kind of UGC for our own paid, can you create some extra things that we would put behind paid for 12 months.
So it was paid.
So it was paid.
Okay, that makes sense.
The paid is what made
you get more money.
Yeah, the paid is what made it. I've never gotten that much.
Because they're going to be making money.
Exactly. Never got that much for organic, but it was the paid. Yeah. So.
Smart.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What was the lowest deal you've ever taken, and why?
I mean, does the first one ever count? The first one, I got paid £100.
Wow.
£100.
But I think that's like when you're starting off, you're doing stuff for free.
I was really happy.
You're doing stuff on gifting.
Yeah.
So £100.
3,000 followers, £100 back in 2021. I mean, I'll take it. I mean, now I didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, £100. But I've taken very low for the rate that I'm at right now. But yeah.
But you got to start somewhere, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And how do you negotiate with the brands?
Oh, I love negotiating. I feel like it's my thing. It's my bag.
How often are you like going back and forth?
I go back and forth.
For months?
I'm not afraid. It's my job. Like being an influencer marketer has really like helped me have strong negotiating skills. I think my biggest takeaway is know your worth. So it sounds really vague and very broad, and it just doesn't sound, as good advice. But the first thing I look out for is the usage. What is the usage? Is it paid? Is it organic? I think when a PR girl or an influencer marketing person like reaches out to you, sometimes they tell you in email what all the usage is and what all the, like they'll say 4 weeks organic. Read the contract. Don't just think because she said 4 weeks organic on email, there isn't some hidden charges in the T's and C's. I think recently I just set a big document of red lines because a brand didn't think to tell me that they were going to use it like for email marketing and pay cheeky.
That's good. And because you work in the industry and you're negotiating with influencers every day, you know what you're doing.
Exactly.
But sometimes I've found like when you're negotiating, you'll lose the brand deal because you're negotiating a lot.
You do, but I think that it's always a give and take. I think always be respectful and always be professional when you're emailing people. But at the same time, I feel like push it a little bit. You could always say, oh, I'm happy to do it in the end. But I find I'd rather lose a deal if I genuinely feel like, because I never decline a deal just because it's not enough money for, like in general. I decline it if it's genuinely exploiting me.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
What's the number one thing you ask brands before you collab?
The deliverables. I just double check, because sometimes they'll send, we want 1 reel, 3 story frames, and need to go live on X day. So say, are you sure there's no usage? Is there payment? I literally control find the word perpetuity, which means forever. That means and I think the biggest thing is that when you're working with an agency, sometimes as a creator, you're only focused on what the brand's getting, but don't forget the agency. What's the agency getting out of it as well? It's always hidden as well sometimes. So I always ask them these kinds of questions, but also kind of like the visual direction that they're interested in if they haven't already sent it to me.
Okay, that's good. Do you diversify your income as a creator, and if so, how?
Yes, I have different streams of income. I think obviously the first one is posting on my own page. The second one, I've done a lot of UGC, and that's unintentionally. I haven't gone out for it, but now I'm starting to get into it a little bit more. Affiliates, I do that. And I don't really advertise this as much. It's almost like the girlies that come in my DMs that I've mentioned it here and there, but I kind of do like little one-on-one sessions, like one-to-ones, and I just charge a little small fee for that as well. But I think I'm going to start that properly.
You should.
Wait,
as like
I'm a consultant for smaller creators, who want to get into it. So
that's a really good space.
Offer like 3 different, things: personal branding, working with brands, and then just different things on, the creator economy. Things that I learned in my job, but also, growing in this industry.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I work in influencer marketing. I'm an influencer marketing manager at an agency. And I kind of my primary role is to kind of be the ones going out to creators with paid brand deals. So I've got a team who do all the sourcing. I oversee that. I always approve kind of the creators that I think are, great for the campaign. I do the budget, so I'm the money girl. Yeah, and so on.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a big responsibility, but it's so fun because now I get that 360 view of kind of what it's like to be on the receiving end as a creator, but also as the one going out. So I kind of become a little asset at work because they're like, is this okay to go out to a creator? And like, yes, it's fine. I don't know.
That's nice. That's good that you've positioned yourself that way. And I think you can see that in your content that you create as well, that you know what you're doing.
Yeah, so it's been great. I mean, I just recently spoke at Cannes Lions HQ, talking to a room of 50-year-old advertisers about the creator economy. So it's really given me that kind of step up in my negotiations and when I am talking to brands as well.
Do you see yourself doing content creation full time, or because you're doing really well in both?
Yeah, I do, but I think it'll evolve. I think it will be more like a consultant-based thing. I will still always do content. I will always post.
And you want to be a full-time creator? Is that your end goal?
I want to be a full-time entrepreneur. I think gone are the days of just posting pretty pictures. I want to be like the next Emma Chamberlain Coffee, the next KSI Prime, Mr. Beast, Yeah. I don't want to nothing wrong with just posting like pictures, but I definitely want to,
create a business.
Yeah, I want to capitalize on what I've started. So yeah.
Oh, that's nice to hear.
Yeah. Okay, so this is an anonymous kind of scenario kind of question.
Okay.
So how would you approach this? So, help. A well-known company is asking to pay me with an Amazon gift card. How do I nicely ask for cash?
I would just say the value of the Amazon gift card is not reflective of the content that I'm creating, the quality of it, the reach and engagement, and the flat rates that I normally charge.
How do you ask for compensation when a brand wants to repost your content?
So then I would just send them my media pack and say, this is how much I normally charge, and like, these are my rates. Yeah, that's what I'd say.
Okay, so this next one is so funny. How do I respectfully say to a brand, I know you're lying when you say you have no budget. I also know you're paying other influencers. So for context, so imagine I'm the creator. So for context, I reached out first. I do lots of self-pitching and run into a lot of brands telling me that they have no budget for influencers at the moment, or if they have budget, that they completely lowball me. So what's the advice that you would give me as a creator? And I can give you my take on this.
Then I would just immediately go back and say like, oh, I don't do unpaid work, and here's my media pack. You can see all my insights. Like, some of my reach is this high, like on similar reels that you've posted, that other influencers have posted in the industry. And I wouldn't obviously not mention that other people have been paid, but I would just like show them my value, my worth. They want to work with me, so they've reached out to me, and I would just go back with all my insights and like my actual rates and be like, this is minimum I can do, and just be really hard on that. So
yeah, I agree. I think we're in so much trouble for saying this because I work both sides, so I know the real budget. I think when brands often say to creators they don't have budget, well, I can't talk about the gifted ones because we only do paid, but I think when paid, brands, they usually do have a little bit more. It's a jigsaw puzzle. I'm going to shoot myself in the foot now. It's a jigsaw puzzle. They'll have a pot of money and they'll have kind of like 10 creators, and they have to distribute that pot of money based on a lot of things. Sometimes it's not just followers. Sometimes it's kind of the creator suitability. If I have a creator all about thrifting and my brand is thrifting, I'm going to pay the creator that has got high affinity to that brand more than the larger creator who has done luxury fashion. So you know what I mean? So I think sometimes you don't have budget for that creator, but you have budget, if that makes sense. So for me personally, as a creator, what I've basically learned to always kind of go back with my idea. I think sometimes the brand that I need, as an influencer marketer, I need convincing that you are not worth losing. I don't want to, why are you not worth losing versus the creator that is into thrifting, that has high affinity to my thrifting brand. So sometimes what I do as a creator is I go to the brand and say, thank you for, you know, reaching out to me and for thinking of me. This sounds like a great opportunity. I would love to take part in this campaign. But at the moment, I'm not accepting any gifted collaborations, or if it's too low, transparently, this is too low for what I usually offer. I would love to make this work. So I've got a few ideas. And top line, I don't do more work than necessary. Top line, I link the content that is similar to what they're asking for, or examples of what I could do across platform. I don't just focus on the platform that they're asking for. And I literally, like you said, give them my media kit, give them my insights, and just say, I would love to make this work. However, I appreciate, I always leave a little bit of a, I'm a bit of a risk taker. I always kind of leave them with I'm happy to leave though. It's almost kind of like, I appreciate if you can't make this work at this time, and hopefully we can collaborate in the future, but let me know if anything changes.
So they know you have the power to.
Exactly. They know that I'm willing to walk away, even if I really want it.
You don't
willing to walk away.
You have to be a poker face.
No, you've got to be poker face. And so far it's paid off, but sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you lose it. But if I know that my friend, another creator, is being paid, similar followers, or even just similar aesthetics or similar vibe, I am not going to do it, because that means the brand doesn't value me.
Yeah.
Do you know?
And that's the most important thing.
That's kind of how I do it.